Hey guys, don't forget to go like and subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. We'd also love to hear feedback and questions from our listeners about today's episode. Feel free to shoot us an email at asksoshiesaid@gmail.com or So She Said Show on Instagram. And without further ado, let's get this party started. Welcome back to another episode of So She Said. I'm Asha.
I'm Tam.
I guess today, there's been a lot of projects that have came out as of late. So welcome, I guess, to our music segment.
Yeah, it's going to be a kind of music heavy episode. A bunch of stuff has come out that I've been listening to, and it won't fit all in my playlist, so I just wanted to tell you all about it, let you guys pick it out. You should have had time to listen to it for yourselves, and we can talk about the songs a little bit.
Okay.
So first up, the most recent thing that came out is Father of Four by Offset. He's the third Migo to drop his solo project, and I've listened to all three, and I have to say, I think his is the best. He starts out with some really, really deep stuff. The album starts out, first of all, the album is Atlanta as fuck. He has all these Atlanta OGs on it, from Big Rube to CeeLo Green. He has 21 Savage. He has Gucci Mane. He has Quavo on it. So it's really Atlanta album, but I think it's different because they're not talking about all the Migos stuff, Looking Fly, Diamonds, blah blah blah. He's talking about his trials and tribulations being a young black man, a young father, and all the stuff he goes through. So I thought that was crazy. All of us don't know Offset like that.
Mm-hmm.
We know Fly Guy, we know Cheater Offset.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the intimately involved, and I think he's coming for that Trap Tupac spot.
Okay. I mean, I saw part of his Breakfast Club interview, and he was just talking about what you said, a lot of people don't really know him or what he's about. They just see the diamonds and the drip and all that other shit. And he was I I just wanted to kind of talk about shit that happens in my real life. And he's and I really wanted to give credit to my kids because they're my everything. And he's everyone only knows culture because situations or whatever, but he's my oldest is 9 years old, and he was in a different place when he had his first son. And then he talks about how his daughter, he didn't know if his daughter was really his at first, and I was okay, that's a little more than what we usually get from you, which is cool. And he also went into talking about how he parents each of them differently.
Yes.
How he wants to make sure that they all are in good neighborhoods and in good schools,
but they go to public school because he don't want them to be spoiled.
I like that a lot.
Yes.
And then he said he also said that one of his kids told some kid at school oh, my dad makes more money than your dad does, and he said I whooped his ass.
Yeah.
And I was good.
Yeah.
I am so happy to hear that the belt is still something that is used in a black household.
I was happy to hear that. I feel Offset is he's our age group. He said he's 27. I'm happy to hear that our group is kind of parenting our children even a little bit different than maybe our parents would have. So when we were growing up, it wasn't bad to be a spoiled kid. There was a black kid on your block, but their parents had more money. You knew it. That kid was a brat. And it's nobody checked it because maybe the parents in the black community, at least what I see, is sometimes a lot of us go without. So then when we are in a situation to give to our kids, we kind of give them everything because we want them to have it better than us. Mm-hmm. So I feel it's refreshing to see that Offset is you have better things, or your life is going to be different than mine, but you're not about to be a brat about it. And that don't mean you get to be fucked up to other people about it.
Because he was that kid that was getting made fun of.
Yeah.
His mom didn't have anything.
Yeah. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't just let them be oh yeah, you are better than them because I bossed up. Nah, he's still making them be good people. I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about that in the songs too. Like there's a song on here called Lick, and he's talking about, I guess it's when his first baby, he had him when he was 17, and he's like, he got kicked out of the house, so he had to basically rob and steal and to make money for his kid, because we all know how it goes too when you're young and you got a young baby mama. She's not having that shit. No excuses. You telling her you don't got it, because she's young too and she's dealing with it too. So Offset is basically like, him and his homeboys, like he took him on a lick just to pay the rent. Like all the shit that he had to do just to survive, but he don't want his kids to have to do that same kind of stuff. He has other songs like North Star with CeeLo Green. He has a song on here, Red Room, where I think it's his grandpa playing the, what is the thing that Stevie Wonder plays?
Piano?
No, it's with your mouth.
Harmonica?
Harmonica. Boom. Yes, his grandpa's playing a harmonica. And that's really cool. On Fleek with Quavo is tight. Quarter Milli with Gucci Mane is tight. The video is good too. Everybody was talking about the song Clout with Cardi B. It's a really good song. Her verse is cool. Don't Lose Me. That's him talking about cheating on Cardi. He even has a little apology video that he posted on Instagram at the beginning. And he's like, I'm sorry. I was being a fucked up husband. I was being selfish. Blah, blah, blah.
We'll see if that changed.
Right, but it seems like for now, and even in the Breakfast Club interview, it seems like he's really sorry about it and maybe trying to change his life, if that makes sense. Not just apologizing just to apologize. It seems like he really feels fucked up about what he did, and the possibility of, like, not the cheating, because, like, if she was cool with it, he would be back on the street, but it's the fact that he almost lost her in that situation, and maybe coming from him a different place, though he is famous and he's amigo and all that shit now, he does have 3 basically broken homes. Like, he got 3 kids with 3 people he don't want to be with. So it's like he's trying to make this shit right and this shit work with her, because he was like, I was sick, bruh. Like, I thought she wasn't gonna take me back. I was sick. He was like, we try to act like we're not hurt. He's like, you got feelings, you be hurt. I was hurt.
Well, that's cute.
So hopefully, I feel like even him growing up, right? Like Jay-Z had to be 50-something to make 444 and talk about his fucked up ways and doing his family wrong and almost losing that. I think that's a good thing for our culture, to try to change how we think about things and change the way we do things. Like, it can't just be all hoes all the time.
Yeah. I mean, actions speak louder than words. I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but we shall see.
Oh, we should definitely see. But I'm talking about even if you're going to talk about it and make that more prevalent to make guys. Because I think part of the reason why even guys in regular community that aren't famous and that aren't rich want to be players and want to have all these bitches is because they hear other guys talking about it. So they feel like that's what they can do to be cool. Or they feel like that shit is okay. If niggas start bigging up like that they have a family and that they're only with one girl and all of that, like maybe it'll change some of the sheep out there. Who do have like 4 or 5 big mamas and don't have Offset's money to put them all in a nice house and give them a car and make sure they're straight.
Like, y'all wouldn't like start investing in condoms? Like, that's just expensive. Like, every baby is a huge bill.
And then y'all just be running around mad at the girl.
Financial, like, you know, financially speaking, you're not looking at your finances and like how to manage your money and like, you know,
they couldn't be.
You have to invest. Like, that's a liability. It's not an asset.
It's really not. And all of y'all that think like, oh, I'm trying to have a bunch of kids to carry on my legacy. It's a broke ass legacy that you got. Okay, it's an EBT legacy. It's a WIC office legacy.
Ooh. Just saying.
Okay, it's a bus stop, bus pass legacy for these children. And that's not something that you should be proud of.
And it don't mean shit if they hate your ass because you never around and can't do shit for them.
That part. It don't matter how many kids got your last name. Or if the baby mama even gives them the last name, because now we get to pick. But anyways, speaking of that, Summer Walker dropped a remix to Girls Need Love, and it has Drake on it, and the internet streets were going crazy. Everybody loves it. So check that out if you're feeling away. You know, Drake is talking about getting some dick with no complications. So all you ladies that are on that wave, this is the song for you. We got Kehlani came out with her album, EP, mixtape. I don't know what people are calling them these days. We talked about it a little bit last week, but we didn't really talk about the songs and the whole vibe. So this is Pregnant Kehlani.
Yeah, I love it.
She's so happy. The songs are very upbeat. Some of them are a little deep, but I like them.
I kind of liked it more than, was it Crazy Sexy Cool or
Sweet Sexy Savage?
Sweet whatever. Crazy Sexy Cool, Sweet Sexy Savage. Okay. Anywho, like, and to me, this reminded me of like original Kehlani.
Okay.
Like, because her first one, it was an EP, right? Her first group of songs that she released, it wasn't an album.
Yeah, Cloud 19. It was like a mixtape.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Like, I thought it was so pure and so cute. Mm-hmm. And then she dropped Sweet, Sexy, Savage. And I was like, like, I don't know. I always like mixtapes more than I like albums.
Yeah, because sometimes they try to be a little fake with the album.
Yeah. And it, you know.
A little forced.
Exactly. Not that I hated it. I definitely have songs on that album that I love too. But this one just, it kind of took me back to like old Kehlani.
And her features have been really good. I can't hate on that, but just her own project is a lot different and has a different vibe. Mm-hmm. From Footsteps with Music Soul Child. Did you like
I love that one.
Did you like Nunya with Dom Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm a Dom fan.
Right? All the girls like, that's Dom Kennedy. You can't be an LA girl and not like Dom Kennedy, I feel like.
You can't. It's impossible. That's just like saying, I hate Ty Dolla $ign.
Like, shut up.
Yeah. Who hates Ty?
Who hates Ty Dolla $ign? Go outside.
Exactly.
Nobody hates Ty Dolla $ign. I love Morning Glory. If you don't want me at my good night,
then you can't have me at my morning glory. Maybe at my morning glory.
It's so cute. Yeah. She's like, I'm going to take my wig off. I'm going to take these lashes off. I might even take these nails off. It is what it is, my G. Mm-hmm. If you're not fucking with it, you're not fucking with it. Leave. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I love Feels. It doesn't have a feature, but I love the song. Nights Like This with Ty Dolla $ign, one of my favorite songs on the project.
Same. I think that might be my favorite.
Yeah, I like it. The video kind of confused me, but after like more listening to the song and not just watching it, I kind of understand it. Like, she made this robot, she saved the robot's life, and then she doesn't even want to be with her. Mm-hmm. I like RPG with Black. I'm sorry, I almost called him Six Black on accident. Don't spell your name like that if you don't want people to call you that.
It's not very many songs on it, right?
There's only 9.
Yeah, it's not a very long project.
No, like, I listened to it on my drive to LA and like it didn't even last the whole thing. Butterfly is okay, but I like Love Language better. And then that's all of them. And they're pretty good. Too Deep is good too. But I'm excited hearing this Pregnant Kehlani. I'm excited to see her next chapter in motherhood and how that's going to inspire her music. Is it going to be better? Is it going to make her be more true to herself? I did see her in her little girl boy bag on this project. Like, she was going back and forth talking about genders.
Oh.
Sometimes she would talk about girls. Sometimes she would talk about boys.
Oh, okay. I was like, girl boy bag. Are you talking about like a gender reveal or I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, but yes, I get what you're talking about now. Like, I noticed that too. Sometimes she would say she. Sometimes she would say he.
Yes.
Like, and I'm just like, okay, cool. She's like acknowledging her bisexuality, which was dope, I think. I definitely think it's something that she can get away with more so because she is a girl.
Yes.
Because like if Frank Ocean came out and was like, I'm bi, we're like, no, nigga, you already, you gay. Like yeah, like.
Also, I feel like it's easy for her to do. Sorry. Also, I feel like it's easy for her to do because she's cute. And, you know, just like there's light skin, dark skin privilege out in the world, there's pretty privilege. Because I feel like if Kehlani looked more like young M.A., you know, people wouldn't have her doing this back and forth boy-girl stuff. People took forever to just accept young M.A. talking about girls and just leave her alone and let that be her.
Yeah, true.
And like, I feel like if young M.A. even had less tattoos, if she looked less hard than she does, people would give her a hard time. Because Kehlani's hella tatted too. Like, it's not that much difference. But she don't have a fade. Like, she doesn't have a lineup. She just wears wigs and stuff. So, I don't know. I'm excited to hear about more, though. And the most current, the thing that stopped the world, Solange. It's been 3 years since a seat at the table.
And I thought it was dope that she released it the last day of Black History Month.
Yes.
Way to go out with a bang.
So she comes out with When I Get Home, and this has been a dark, sad Black History Month. We suffered a lot of losses. Things haven't been going as smoothly as they should have been going. Niggas are getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Big Sean broke up with Janae Aiko and got back with Ariana Grande. We got losers out here for Black History.
Wow.
But Solange came in to save the day with her, like, cowboy yeehaw aesthetic. That's what I feel like this is being called. It was very Texas, the whole thing.
Okay.
I feel like that was the point. I don't know if you got a chance to watch her. She made like a visual. It was like 30 minutes.
On the poll? On the pole?
Well, she was on the... Well, it's not her. It's some other girl that's on the pole. But she made this visual to go along with this album. It's like 30 minutes. And it shows, like, a bunch of weird cowboy scenes. And
I know she brought Black Planet back.
Well, I guess Black Planet never went anywhere.
Oh.
Sad,
okay.
Right? Like, none of us
like, who's on it? Aunties? like...
BlackPeopleMeet.com. But she did go live on Black Planet to show part of the visuals, and that was like her announcement for the album. And she revived Mike Jones' old number 281-330-8004. You could call that to hear a snippet of the album. So that was very Texas of her as well. I'm liking that the artists are kind of staying true to where they're from and doing that instead of just riding whatever wave makes you popular. That gets annoying, and then all the music starts to sound the same to me.
Right.
But with this project, I'm sorry, it's like, it didn't work for me as much as her previous ones are. And I'm a Solange fan. Like, I like Solo Star. I like Soul Angel and the Hadley Street Dreams. I love to sit at the table. But this one, at first, second, third listen, I'm not vibing with it as much as the other projects.
I mean, because A Seat at the Table was just so good. And I knew when I heard that she was working on a project, I was just like, I just don't see how it would be better than this or comparable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It would be hard to top or hard to...
Because it tells a story. Everything was on point. She, like, it flowed together, like, very nicely. And then her interludes were perfect. You know, like, it just all flowed well together. And I think albums should kind of tell somewhat of a story.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, but for me, like... I guess I'm still trying to understand the message that she's trying to convey here, if any at all.
I don't know if there's really so much of a message besides it's just like a super black, like just a window into a black experience. And I guess that is the black Texas experience. So the average American, when they think about cowboys and Texas and all that, they probably wouldn't think about black people. When they think about rodeos or bull riding, they probably wouldn't think about black people. But there are a lot of us that like those things. Like we had Mia on last week, and she was talking about her love for country music. Like, we don't associate those types of things with blackness. So I feel like maybe Solange is trying to give a window into that. I do get, like, that a lot of the songs are chopped and screwed, and that's a super Texas thing. So she's trying to do that. But for a regular listener, I think it just comes off weird. Because it took me, like, till the second... Okay, the project has 19 songs. I'm, like, in the middle, and I'm like, oh, some of this is supposed to be chopped and screwed. That's why it sounds weird. But when I'm just in the house, like, cleaning up or washing my dishes or whatever, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Why does she keep on repeating the same word over and over and over again? Like, that's annoying, but...
Yeah, I think maybe I have to give it some time.
Yeah, I don't know. But... I don't know, because usually stuff grows on me. But I've listened to this now 3 times, and it hasn't grown on me. And out of the 19 songs, I have, like, 9 that I can actually tolerate listening to.
Okay. I haven't worked my way through the full album yet, so I can't really even say. I was just like, oh, like, there's, like, some very, like, soft, like, whimsical sounding songs on there, and I'm just like, oh, I could take a bath to this and go to sleep and relax. Like, I think I was pissed off about something because I go 0 to 100 real quick. And anyways, I was mad, and then I was like, oh wow, and just like that, Solange just brought me down.
Yeah, rocked you to sleep.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm okay, like, it's fine.
The songs that I do like, I'll say I like Down with the Click.
Me too.
I like Way to the Show. I like... I didn't get it at first, but now I kind of get it. My Skin, My Logo is the song with Gucci Mane. And it's like they're just talking. It's not even rapping. But I think, you know, in retrospect, it's like talking about black people's love for, you know, fancy things or like flashy things being seen. But it's like real shit. Our skin is the logo. It doesn't matter what we have on. You're still black. You're a black person in that. So even if you think like, oh, I have on this Chanel, whatever, and it's giving me a different aesthetic, and I'm going to walk into this like white establishment and they're going to treat me differently. Like, no, you're still a black girl in it. So it's not going to be the same. Your skin is your logo. There's nothing that you could cover that up with. So although I don't really get the song, like that they're just talking.
Has she released videos yet? I'm like, maybe, like, and I was having this discussion with a friend of mine. But for instance, I don't think that Lemonade would have been able to stand on its own with just the album itself.
Oh, no.
It had to be accompanied with the videos. So I'm like, maybe once Solange releases some videos to go along with these songs, and we'll be like, oh.
Well, she has a visual kind of similar to Lemonade, where all the songs are in it, and it's like 30 minutes long, but it's still not like Lemonade, where it makes the songs make sense. I watched the whole thing, and it's just different scenes.
So she's not releasing separate videos because we got Cranes in the Sky. We got...
Yeah, no.
Okay, I was like, well, if she's releasing separate videos for these, then I was like, that might tie it together for me to have that visual aspect, because I think these days visuals are very important.
Yes.
If that's what you're going for. And Solange is just like so artsy that I think we have to see that. Like, oh, okay.
Well, that's what even made me understand the Black Cowboy aesthetic. I wouldn't have gotten any of that without the visual. This would have been super confusing to me. Even the fact that it was chopped and screwed wouldn't have dawned on me had I not seen that video. It's like, it just makes it not make sense. Oh, it doesn't make sense without it. So there's one song that I really like. It's Binz, B-I-N-Z, and it's featuring The Dream. And it's like, I just want to wake up to the sun in Saint Laurent. And it's like a happier song on it. A song that is easy to listen to. But in the video, it's just like a bunch of footage of her dancing in her MacBook camera.
It's so strange. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense.
Like, wasn't it SZA's Weekend video?
Yes, that shit didn't make sense.
I was so pissed that, like, because I was like, oh, Solange is directing it. This is going to be so dope. Like, and then I saw the shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this was not what I had envisioned.
Like, SZA dancing in a fucking parking lot.
Yeah.
SZA hanging out on the balcony in some apartments. I wanted to see SZA walking through a bunch of different LA scenes with different niggas, like this house, that house, for the weekend, you know? I wanted to see her with some guy that had multiple relationships.
Something.
Tell me a story. This didn't go with the song at all.
Yeah, I was so upset with that. I was like, wow, Solange. Like,
and as a fashion girl, it made me sad because the clothes weren't even tight. If you're going to be in these stupid situations, at least let the clothes be tight.
But I'm just like, okay, that's like when you go to an art museum and then there's like a picture, like, and it's like a dot in a frame. And then I'm just like, you know, I like to think I'm like an art person and I like to, I'm an admirer of art, but then it's just like, oh yeah, like they were probably going for this and blah. And then the whole time, nobody knows what the fuck that dot's really there
because
for.
It's just a dot.
Like,
you can say what you want. That shit is like...
Or like a kindergarten drawing. Like, you'll be like, there's really people that are like, yeah, like, that's so deep. Like, it's like, you don't fucking understand. Just tell the truth.
Like Jackson Pollock. All he does is throw paint up against canvas. And you're like, oh, this is so deep. This is about his pain and his experience. Like, no, Jackson Pollock was just outside. He figured out how to get money from y'all. So he just started throwing more paint and more canvases.
Like...
Damien Hirst, he getting hundreds of millions of dollars, put a shark in a tank. And it's like, this is art. No, he went to SeaWorld when he was a kid.
So, I don't know. I feel like Solange is in that realm.
Okay.
So where her spinning around in a circle or dancing on her camera is like, I don't know, maybe she's like advanced artsy to where us normal folk just don't understand.
We can never appreciate the level of taste.
Yeah.
But even in the visual this time, because I was a big fan of the visuals for A Seat at the Table, and I feel like she kind of has a one-up on most of the other girls, her, contemporaries, because her husband is a video director. So, like, even Wait to the Show, which is maybe my favorite song from this thing, she's, like, sitting in this, the whole thing takes place in, like, a warehouse situation, and she's sitting in this little circle, and there's all these girls in the same outfit as her, same boots. Everything.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah. And
she has like a weave situation going on. Okay.
She's just sitting there on the ground. And then there's like another scene where there are all these black girls in the same brown dress, but different blonde weaves. And I'm like, okay. So, I don't know. And then it was a part where they kind of looked Matrix-y. And then there was some magic things that happened with their hands. And then they went into like a whole... animation,
I think I saw this
digital part, which reminds me of this girl named Kalila, and she has this song. It's like Fortnite or something like that. But it's creepy, and I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
And if your visuals don't clarify the story,
then what was the point?
And is there no story? Is that what this is? Because, like, it could be a departure from a seat at the table. All your projects don't have to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like...
But I think we just had such high expectations from you because of the great piece of work that was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like this was her I Am Sasha Fierce album. Because in my mind, I Am Sasha Fierce was the worst album from Beyonce.
Throwaway tracks. I agree.
Yeah.
It was like I got 2 or 3 songs that are good.
Yeah. Like Beyonce Self-Titled was great.
Yes.
Dangerously in Love, classic. I put B-Day up there with those two.
Okay.
I don't know if you do, but...
I can't... It's not like I'm not a fan of Happy Beyonce, but it is better than I Am Sasha Fierce because there's only like 2 or 3 songs that are listenable from that.
Oh, yeah.
Today. Like Irreplaceable, Put a Ring on It.
No. Irreplaceable was B-Day.
Oh, my bad. So, see, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. So, we got Like a Boy on Sasha Fierce.
Didn't really care for that.
Yeah.
Halo, I didn't care for that either.
That's not my jam. So, it is a different type of vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Solange, I wish you continued success in the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully you figure this one out. I don't know. I feel like you're just in that cool stage too now where you just got all of these blindly loyal followers from a seat at the table. Because I've been a lifelong Solange fan and people wasn't fucking with her like that. And then the seat at the table come out and she's all revolutionary and she's this black woman artist. Oh my God. So she has all these fans. Now they're just going to stand regardless.
I think I was more of a Solange fashion fan because I'll be real, I didn't really listen to her music like that until A Seat at the Table. So I'm one of those people who didn't really start tuning into her music. But I was always just like, oh my God, like I want to be her. She's cute and lives in Brooklyn. And like she's always stepping out the house in these cute outfits and like she doesn't look ratchet. Like, oh shit, she's a DJ too. Like I want to be solo.
Yes.
You know, like
Very
because
cute.
she's just everywhere. She's very like editorial, but like she hasn't really even been giving me fashion lately.
She hasn't, and it made me sad. Just
Sorry.
we're gonna be real. We be rude to everybody on here, so I can't not be real about a situation, even if I like the person. I love Solange to death, but I haven't been fucking with her since the blonde hair shit. It's like after the blonde hair thing, she fell off. She fell all the way off.
Yeah. And then the weave and the video was cool, but I'm just like, no. I expect like natural goodness from you. Like, you know, like
And
not
now
that
you got a 40-inch weave like everybody else.
Yeah, not to say you can't switch it up, but like I'm like fucking cranes in the sky. Like to be real, that video didn't make sense. It was just aesthetically beautiful.
Yes. And that can be okay, though.
Yeah.
So that's even what I'm saying with this visual for this When I Get Home. Like, a lot of it was just beautiful. A lot of it was just, like, depictions of blackness. But it's not even, like, a cranes in the sky. Like, it didn't make no fucking sense. All right.
Yeah.
So, for our politics segment, we haven't came to you about any black politics in a long time. But there's a lot going on the political landscape these days. And namely being, we have the 2020 election coming up. There's a bunch of people that have announced they're running for president, including the person who ran last time and lost Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders went a little bit viral a couple of days ago because he was holding an event, like he's going to be hosting all up and through the 2020 election, like to campaign and get people on his side, to get the word out about his that he's running. And this black girl, he was like taking pictures with people. And the black girl had her phone out, but she was doing a video. And he comes over and he like hugs her and he was smiling for a picture. And then she's like, but Bernie, I want to ask you about reparations for black people. And he was like, oh, what? And he just walked away. And she was like, whoa, that's so disrespectful. Like, he didn't answer my question. She's like, I'm not just a selfie opportunity. So it has the internet streets talking about politicians, specifically, most of them are non-black, and how they may use the black community for votes during election time. They come to our churches, they come out to community events, they want to talk to us and get us all registered to vote, but they don't really offer anything to us.
I mean, do they have to?
I mean, they offer things to other people, which is why they go out and vote for them.
But other people also make a stand to, like, see that shit through.
That's true.
I feel like they have more of a sense of community. Like, I see it time to time, like Latino people stick together, white people stick together, Persians, you know what I mean? People I think that it's just important enough to them to like see that shit through. and like we've been promised what, like 10 acres and a mule, and like we still haven't got that shit. We get shot down in the street. Like, it's clear that Black lives aren't like that, you know, they don't matter here in America. So why the fuck would they give a fuck about reparations?
Okay, so do you feel like because other like politicians and maybe Black groups in the past haven't made a push for this or cared about this, do you feel like it's too late? Or do you think it's just because the way our community is now, the fact that we don't really stick together as much as other groups, especially not for political causes and things like that? Like, we may do a hashtag, we may go out and march, you know, because somebody got shot, but we kind of leave it at that. Do you think we shouldn't get certain things, or do you think we kind of...
No, I mean, I definitely think we deserve shit just like other groups of people do, but I'm just saying, I think it's kind of up to us to like push for the shit that we actually want. Like, are we actually gonna put somebody in place to fight for that shit for us?
Okay,
are we gonna back these people? Like, we vote blindly. Like, we don't even look into other people's policies and shit, like, to see why they would be a good fit. Do you even know why you're a Democrat? Like, or do you know why, you know what I mean? Do you understand, like, the different parties and, like, what they stand for, like, what that means? Do you have an understanding about government and politics, or nah? Are you just voting for Obama because he's Black? Are you just voting for Kamala Harris because she's an AKA and went to Howard? Like, stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
So I feel like I agree. Since I've been alive, Black people have pretty much just voted on, basically, on cult of personality. And really, more so, I've grown up, and I don't really hear Black people talking about voting in the primaries and stuff like that, or being involved in the Democratic convention to even elect a candidate for that, to have, like, the nominee. We just vote for whoever's the Democrat on the ticket between them and the Republican.
Because as far as we know and how we've been raised, for the most part, is Democrat.
Yeah, since Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah, and like, to be honest with you, like, I've really just been sitting down recently, and I really need to do my own research. I'm like by no means a political expert whatsoever. And I'm just like, why the fuck have I been voting Democratic? You know, like, why have I been voting for the Democrat Party? Like, does it make sense? Do I, like how I just got on the rest of my people? I have to get on myself, and I can't talk shit because I'm just like, I feel like I haven't been voting very long because I am like 27 and election comes up, every 4 years for the president. Like,
so you only gotten 2 chances
I did vote. Wait, no, I didn't even get a chance to vote for Obama.
You weren't 18 yet?
I wasn't 18. I would have, you know?
But the second time we were old enough.
Yeah, I did vote for Obama.
Okay. And then now, of course, you didn't vote for Trump.
No.
So it's not like you had a lot of research to do.
No, but I'm just like, Hillary or Trump. Like, and I'm just like, and I get that notion there, but then some people fucking wrote Harambe and like other stupid ass shit. And then I know so many Blacks that just don't vote. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know the shit that our ancestors had to go through to even get us that right? We were considered, what, a third of a person?
Yeah. Well,
like,
that's still in the Constitution.
That we're a third of a person?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Like, so, and I get so frustrated with...
And it's 3/5.
With being, with being Black, and, you know, like, when we scream for our rights and shit like that, but we just have no fucking community. It's like beating a fucking dead horse. You know how many people don't even know what the fucking Willie Lynch letter is? Open your fucking eyes. Read that shit. Like, expand your mind. Like, I just have such a hard time, like, standing up for shit that matters within our community when half of us don't even fucking care.
Yeah, and I think that's, like, the political climate we're in as Black people now, and I think that's hard even for us to try to get together and, like, galvanize a base to support a candidate or to support a certain issue. It's because we don't really stand for anything, and I hate to say that because I'm a Black person, but I've grown up in this community and I've seen it, and I'm sure there are groups of elitist Black people out there, groups of Black people that their grandparents went to college and all of that, and they've been rich for a long time. Those are different type of people.
Our elders were with the shit.
Yeah.
Our parents, our grandparents, and then so on and so forth for that time. I mean, I'm sure there were, like, the little pockets of people that didn't give a fuck either. But our generation?
We don't care at all.
No, fucking Martin Luther King's kids were rallying for Trump. Are you fucking kidding me?
for them, it's that kind of stuff makes it hard too as a black person, because it's like legacies are kind of destroyed based on us not having money. Because when I see the king's kids and, you know, certain other political figures, children and families that do certain type of shit that no other black person would think is okay, it's like you can tell that they're struggling there. Like, they need money, so they're gonna do what it takes, and they're gonna do, you know, whatever to make sure that they're straight. And you can't be mad at that. Like, they already sacrificed a person to our movement. Like, their father is dead. But at the same time, it's, you don't understand that what you're doing is detrimental to black people's cause now. Mm-hmm. And you make us look crazy now. Mm-hmm. So even if there were some other countries out there that wanted to support us and be like, oh, it's wrong that you guys black people are, you know, disproportionately imprisoned. It's wrong that your black people are disproportionately shot by the police, and we want to speak out for you.
I mean, y'all's biggest hero, Michael fucking Jordan, has a lot of money in the prison system.
Yeah.
But y'all go buy his fucking shoes. Like, it just does. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me.
It's sad.
Because I don't understand how these other people can march and, you know, stand up for our rights, get like sprayed with fucking water hoses. Mm-hmm. You know, we came over here in chains. Half of us died along the voyage. Either killed ourselves jumping off the fucking boat, or, you know, we were just stacked on top of each other like logs or some shit, like human Jenga. Mm-hmm. Like, it's fucked up. And then, like, we don't care. We just don't care. And then, I mean, I can understand somewhat when African people come over here and they're just like, fuck them.
Yeah, like, they're just worried on.
But I want to separate myself as much as possible, because I don't want anybody to think that my mentality is like their mentality.
Yeah. But at the same time, for a black person that, like, my whole family's from here and that's grown up in, like, the worst parts of America, you know, it's concerned with a black person, like, living in the inner cities or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. That's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Because African people come over here all happy and fucking jolly and shit, and they haven't, like, stood a day in our shoes and don't know what the fuck we go through, because you haven't been damaged from slavery. You sold us.
Yeah, and, like, you come over here and you have a different outlook, even as far as, like, when I see other groups of people, African people, Mexican people that come over here, like, for the American dream, they're willing to do different things. They're willing to go through different struggles because they've came from crazy poverty, next level shit. Like, out here, we grow up, even if you grow up in the hood as a black person, it's nice houses on your block. It's a cool apartment. Like, there's bus stops. The city is working fine. You're not living in destitution. So our aspiration, even, like, if you talk to the poorest black person, like, they just want a mansion. They want, like, a Rolls Royce or a nice car or a Range Rover and, like, nice clothes and shit. We aspire to the American stuff, whereas, like, the African is coming over here and they want a house and they want, you know, their children to be able to go to college. It's different things.
Different worries.
Yeah, different things that they're aspiring to. But at the same time, it's, I don't think, because we've gone through so much, I think that's more the reason why we need reparations, and more of the reason why the government should have programs that are specifically to help black people, descendants of slaves, not just all black people that are the color black, or not just all people that are immigrants, or you're a minority so you get to go to college here. Like, I think there has to be something that is just for black people, because we've been damaged by this system and our ancestors helped build it.
Let me set the record straight. I'm not saying that we're not deserving of shit whatsoever.
Yeah, you just think it's hard to get because we don't.
Yeah, I just feel like if we don't stand together for anything, any cause ever, then why would anyone else give a fuck about our issues?
That's true.
And problems?
That's true. It's sad because I feel like I even see other groups of people that have been here less time. So Koreans, different types of Asian people that have been here for like 5-6 years. Yep. They get here and they're on like their city council. Yep. And they want to change shit in their neighborhood. And they want like not just the voice of their community, but their specific voice to be heard. Mm-hmm. I know so many old black women that just go to church every Sunday. Like, they're not involved in no shit in their neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They're not out, like, helping to make some type of difference. Now, they may complain about certain problems, like, oh, yeah, those kids, and ever since these people moved, like, the neighborhood hasn't been the same or whatever, but they're not out actually trying to make a change. And I don't know if it's because we feel like we don't have the power or what. Because I see other people, like, living here where I live now, people fucking complain. Mm-hmm. I've lived in communities with all black people and nobody says shit.
Yeah, shit's just the same all the time.
Like, shit is just broken. We just got a big hole in our street. We don't complain. We don't say nothing. The elementary school behind us is just fucked up. We don't do anything. We don't hold anybody accountable.
I mean, I wish that, you know, there could be a bigger conversation about this in repairing the Black community, but I don't even know where to begin with that.
Yeah.
In repairing us as a whole, like in our trust towards one another, because it says it all in the fucking Willie Lynch letter. We distrust each other. We trust the white man more than we trust people in our own community, and that's 100% true. But that's years and years of programming.
Yeah, and I've even heard people say, like, throughout different research and stuff, that, like, the Willie Lynch letter isn't real, that it's, like, a CIA or FBI, like, ploy or whatever. But I feel like even if that's the truth, these tactics still were used.
I think it's real as fuck. Look at it.
And this stuff still works. Like, so even if the letter is fake, like, the shit still happen. And Black people still operate that way. Like, yeah, it would be hard to even start some type of political activism group in your community right now.
Because we're so separated.
Yeah, we don't even want to talk to each other.
We're still worried about, like, oh, well, you don't like dark-skinned niggas. Oh, you don't like light-skinned girls. Da, 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 da. Like, there's just this huge separation. And then we just don't love ourselves in general. Oh, I want a foreign bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a red bone. Oh, I want my kids to be mixed. Like, why? And there's no self-love.
And do you think that even goes into, like, when a Black person is in a position of authority, like, other Black people just don't trust them? Like, even if they haven't done anything wrong, a Black person will tell you, like, oh, he's a sellout. Like, that's how he got that job.
I heard it all the time with Obama.
Yeah, like, oh, he couldn't try to do nothing for us. Like, he's just in there with those white people. Like, he's not looking out for us.
In a way, like, if you observe some of the shit that he did, I mean, like, it does make you look at him with a side eye. But then at the same time, it's like he's one person in one house. And what all could he really do with all those people watching him?
Well, for me with Obama, I just feel like I know people love to be like, oh, the one drop thing and the still nigga thing. But that's not true. It's heritage. And Obama comes from an African immigrant who came over here and went to Harvard. So, like, we're talking about, he's, like, from the Nigerian class of people that they come over here and their dad's already a doctor and shit. And his mom is a rich girl from Kansas, a white girl. Obama is not, like, the average Black person that grew up in the hood, that's seen a bunch of bad shit, that overcame the odds and went to college. Like, no, he's not that nigga.
But he's married to a Black woman.
Still, so that means he understands, but that doesn't mean that he even sympathizes. He might look at Black people like the Africans do. Like, oh, well, if they just worked harder, if they just did stuff a little bit differently, they'd be better off. And that's the vibe I get from Obama a lot when he talks. Recently, he had some speech, My Brother's Keeper, in Oakland, and he's not talking about, oh, what we need to do as a community. He's not saying, oh, you need to organize politically and do stuff coming up for the 2020 election. He's saying, like, scolding the Black guys that are there. Oh, if you're confident in yourself, you probably wouldn't go out and spend your money on an 8-pound chain. Like, okay, that's not even the style like that anymore. And then he's like, if you're confident in your sexuality, you probably don't need 8 girls around you twerking. Like, okay, Obama, that's like rappers. The average nigga can't afford 8 girls around them twerking. Like, what are you talking about? You look at Black people from an elitist perspective. Like, you're up there. You went to Ivy League school. So do your children. You don't understand the average Black person struggle. So that's why when problems come up and situations happen, there's kind of a little bit of separation from you, because you understand on the level of, yeah, I'm a Black man, and I know sometimes fucked up shit has happened to me, or people haven't given me a fair chance based on the color of my skin. But you don't understand that I came from nothing because my grandma came from nothing, my mama came from nothing, so they couldn't even teach me about college because nobody in my family's went. And I get there and I feel like a fucking alien, because I don't know what's going on. My family don't understand. Now, me even going to college, now my family's telling me I think I'm white. I think I'm better than them. Just for trying to do a little bit better. You don't understand. So, like, if that's division too, and that's causing Black people, another reason why we can't get certain shit done in the American system, because we don't understand it, that would make sense too.
I'm saying, like, I just don't know where we would even begin to have some sort of unity. I don't even know what the first step would be.
Yeah.
Not that it's a lost cause, but I think that's something that has to take years and years and years of work. I don't know if it has to take something extremely fucked up, and I don't even know what that could possibly be.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would just have to be execution on site of Black people in neighborhoods, like, you know, more so than what it is right now, because it seems like we're getting killed off by our law enforcement, and
like, that would alarm me.
Still.
We're just chilling. Like, it's fine. I'm straight. Look at these Jordans I got. We're trying to boycott Gucci. We're not worried about the real shit that's going on.
Mass incarceration. Michael Jordan has a big role in that. Please look into this.
Well, he's an investor from what it says online.
He's a what?
He's like an investor.
Yes.
Yeah, he has.
Why? I mean,
but there are a lot of people.
He's your fucking hero. You buy his shoes, and he's a big investor in like the prison system.
So where the niggas play for the NFL, and all the owners invest in that shit too, and they're fine because they like, look at this Range Rover I got with the money.
The NFL players are slaves.
I don't think they care that they're slaves either.
But this is why I can't get worked up about this shit anymore. Yeah. Because I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe I have the wrong attitude. Maybe I should be more like, yeah, you know, Black owned, Black power, this, that, and the third. We need this, we need this, we need this, we need that. Because without leaders, then we're the followers, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the wrong mentality for me to have. But I don't know, like.
Okay, last question. Do you feel like maybe Black people may kind of be in the situation that we're in now, or always be kind of left behind because we're always looking for a leader, like because of our history? So we're looking for like Marcus Garvey, we're looking for Martin Luther King, a Malcolm X, a person to like come out and speak to all of us and get us all on one page, whereas other groups of people they don't need a figurehead. They'll just get together like, oh, 3 of us want to start this initiative, so we're just going to do it, and we're going to try to get more regular people like us. Black people kind of go with the church mentality of like, oh, there's a person in charge, like there's a God, there's a preacher, there's a somebody, and we listen to them.
Never thought about it that way. That could have a lot to do with it, that we're just like waiting on our savior to like come and like, you know, like rally shit up like back in the day, like in the civil rights movement, but it's a different day, and the way that they protested back then worked for them at the time because that's the only way they could do things. We have so much fucking access to information. Can some of you fucking programmers get together?
Like, there's an app.
Make a virus, hack everybody's fucking shit, and like show these images and like, you know, like fucked up pictures, like more so than what the media is showing us. Can we have it happen that way? Like, there's no excuses. We just have all this shit in front of us.
Yeah, like we can't use the 1960 solution of marching. We got cell phones. We don't need to march.
The women's march, that's just bullshit.
Yes. We don't need to be outside. How about we stop shopping?
Marching isn't going to stop shit. The police are going to be out. They're going to, like, regulate the shit like it's a fucking parade. They're very well that the shit's happening. Like, demonstrations need to be done, I believe, in a very different way.
Like digitally, like V for Vendetta with technology. How, like, the guy came on everybody's TV that's, like, watching this show
I also think a big problem lies in the fact, I don't know, like, I want to speak with integrity before I say some stupid shit. But, like, me and you were very educated people. But I feel like in, you know, like, lower class communities and stuff, there's not as much education.
I get what you mean. And there's less want for knowledge.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, there's people that are very cool with, like, being complacent and not rocking the boat, and they don't give a fuck about this Black Lives Matter shit. They don't give a fuck about reparations or anything else of that nature, anything that has to do with Black people excelling in this world, because they're just trying to get by.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a huge issue there within those communities, and I don't know, like, how one would make somebody want to care about those things that are going on.
That makes sense. It's sad, but I hope, at least with this political season and with this upcoming election, how much variety we have in the candidates and all of this, I'm just happy that Black people are sort of asking the right questions. And even if we can't get certain people like Bernie Sanders or whatever, Cory Booker, to just flat out say on camera in these interviews that, yes, they should pay reparations to Black people, at least we're waking up to it.
I think, too, also, maybe we should not like stop referring to ourselves as a big group, as Black people, since we're so separated.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just start off as individuals.
Oh, and do something on
Just
our own.
view ourselves as individuals, not as a community, because we're clearly not a community.
Okay.
Individuals, and just giving a fuck about what's going on in our country and what affects ourselves and our children. Maybe we have to look at it in a more selfish perspective.
And then by extension of that, you'll care about all your group because your group has the same problem.
We don't give a fuck about each other. Right now, it's I'm looking out for me and myself.
That's true. Well, Black people, if you can't fuck with the group, at least fuck with yourself.
And I think maybe that's the first step.
Right?
Just give a fuck about yourself. We start there, and then maybe we can take baby steps, and then come together. Like, oh, well, you look like me, and you look like me,
and you
too.
have similar problems. We're fighting for the same thing.
You know what? Maybe we should get together and do some other shit so that we can push this agenda further.
I agree. I think I should figure it out.
I'm a political genius.
Fuck with yourself.
Wow.
All right, people?
Maybe I should care more. I just figured it out.
That's all we got.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.